friends. So my roommate is in her room yelling at people and it's making me uncomfortable, so I wanted to come and talk to you about bees. Yeah, I'm sick of talking about myself. I want to talk about bees today. They're really, really interesting for tons of reasons, but my favorite reason of all time is something called behavioral fever that bees do. And for me to tell you about this, first I should probably tell you about regular fever. So everybody knows that a lot of times you'll get a fever when you get sick. A lot of people don't seem to realize, though, that when you get a fever, that's not the infectious organism that's doing that to you. Like, if you get some kind of infection, the bacteria you think are making you sick, in the case of the fever, that's not true. The fever is your body. Your body is doing that to itself. And that's actually a really adaptive response. And the reason for that is by raising your own temperature, your body is making it harder on the bacteria or viruses or whatever it is that are infecting you. As a general rule, the cells in your body can survive over a wider range of temperatures than anything that is trying to invade your body. So when you're raising your own temperature, you feel awful and your cells are not happy and things are not going well for you, but things are going even worse for whatever it is that's trying to infect you, and that is a net plus. And there's actually a really interesting trend going on right now in medicine where, like, should you even treat fevers most of the time? You know, I mean, obviously excepting when they're really, really dangerous and like maybe old people or really young children, but maybe most of the time, you know, if the fever's not that bad, you should just leave it alone because maybe it'll help in the long run. I don't know. There's interesting research on this. You should go check it out. But the point is that fever is an adaptive behavior. Most of the time, it is helpful for you to have a fever when you're sick. And because we are endothermic, which means, warm-blooded, basically, because human beings can control our own body temperatures, we can create our own fevers whenever we need them. Other animals, which are ectothermic, which means they're cold-blooded, they cannot regulate their own body temperature. And when they get sick, they have this thing called behavioral fever. Lizards will do this. When they're sick with something, they will go and lay more in the sun or in a more sunny spot and get warmer than they otherwise would because they instinctively know that this will help them to fight the infection. Bugs will do this. Bugs that aren't bees will do this. They'll get closer to the sun when they're infected. A lot of times it's like a fungus that will cause them to do this. But bees take it to another level, and this is one of the reasons I love them. Because it's not just each individual bee that can get infected. You can have a beehive as a whole can get infected by, say, a fungus or spores of something that will creep into the beehive and try to grow and act as a parasite on the bees and the hive. And in order to kill the fungus, the bees create a fever in the hive as a whole. The bees will generate heat, usually by contracting their wing muscles. You know, all the bees, or a large portion of the bees in the hive, will go up the inside of the walls of the hive and they will generate heat by flexing their wing muscles and raise the temperature of the entire hive. And that will help to kill the fungus or whatever it is that's making the hive less healthy. So that is cooperative, instinctive, behavioral fever. And I think that is really, really cool because we think of insects as being, you know, the bottom of the intelligence ladder, basically. I mean, people have so little respect for bugs, and they do cool stuff like this. I learned all of this in a class I took in college, by the way. This was my textbook for that class. It has a grumpy owl on it, and I kept it to read for fun, because that's the kind of nerd that I am. So you'll probably see more strange animal facts, or semi-facts, or things that I think that I remember from this class that I took several years ago on this VEDA blog thing, although I promise after tonight I will do my best to investigate and confirm these facts in my textbook or some other reputable source. But I didn't do that for tonight because I get carried away about bees. And they have such interesting, like, genetic dynamics. Oh, it's cool. You should read about bees. You should finish whatever you were doing and you should read, because you're on YouTube, so clearly you have some time. So I think that you should read about bees because they're interesting. Yeah, thanks for watching this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.